Uganda is party to a couple of trade agreements such as COMESA, the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, the Energy Charter Treaty, and locally participation in the East African Community, among others. All these are meant to promote national investment. However, according to SEATINI, they have far-reaching implications owing to the fact that they aren't well scrutinized, and such all need to be declared for Ugandans to understand.
No need. And what we are saying, even if we leave out the articles, problematic articles, for us we think this is an issue of sovereignty. We have moved a little bit from the Shaka Zulus who used to put their mark without knowing how to read an agreement. We can be able to read an agreement. And our worry really is that we haven't had anything from our government, from the East African community, from the Ministry of Trade, nothing. But the EU is saying, you join. And what we are saying, it would be really, really unfortunate for us to join. In any case, this agreement is for the East African community. Other countries like DRC never negotiated this agreement at all. South Sudan didn't. So for all these treaties, and these are just two treaties, we are just giving you an example. There are other bilateral investment treaties, which we even don't know where they are, who signed them, but they are
The Energy Charter Treaty is among a string of treaty entries government has signed. To the Institute, this is a very problematic as it prohibits the country from addressing climate change issues. Explainer as to why developed countries are pulling out.
A number of European countries are pulling out, but pulling out of this treaty is problematic because you don't just say, I'm getting out. It takes time, and the investments which are already in place have to be protected for a longer time, for almost 20 years. So a number of developed countries are pulling out of this treaty. But what's interesting, African countries are entering the treaty, including Uganda. Uganda, we submitted a letter of intention to join, and we are aware that recently the Deputy Speaker participated in one of the activities at the Energy Charter Treaty Secretariat. And that's why we are raising the issue of the process. You know, how should we be entering into treaties, and how should we be committing, because that's a commitment, committing the country.
On the other hand, the leader of opposition has informed the team from SEATINI that often they have requested government to present the treaties involved in, but to no avail, though promising that the matter will be raised before the House tomorrow.
Plays into a matter that was on the floor of Parliament last week. You recollect that a member demanded that the government lays on the floor of Parliament all treaties, all agreements that have been entered into between the government and the government of Uganda and any other international agencies. Strangely, the minister purported to lay a document that never had any detail, and indeed, the same document was not uploaded on our platforms. I'd already informed my minister to demand on Tuesday, tomorrow, that those documents be uploaded. Now, SEATINI comes with a red flag, and the red flag really further informs the danger in which we are walking as a nation, namely, that the possibility of so many undertakings, informal protocols and agreements are being made on our behalf that are going to affect generations, and somehow we don't seem to care.
Mpuga says the country needs to know why the developed countries are pulling out of the energy treaty, and yet African countries, including Uganda, are getting attached to a time of anticipation to fast oil.
It is very possible and feasible for African leaders to be compromised. And they sign with full knowledge that they are signing off something bad. but somehow some of our leaders have been molded that way. And I want to thank you, SEATINI, for raising the red flag on these issues, and especially how they relate to our environment and the trade environment, the climate and then the trade environment. I agree with you that the emerging oil and gas sector is presenting to us so many challenges, some seen, others unseen. We warned through the signing of the PSAs that are also secretive in nature, that a lot could go on without the knowledge of the population, and before you know it, you have another Ogoni in Uganda.
Amid this demand for declaration of respective treaties, there are key underlying factors to the cause informed by participatory advantage and essence to domestic growth and investment. Sam Lanifa, SMART24 TV, Business Today.